What's up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Culture Minute. I am Gentel Sharrie.
I'm Sarina Renee, the one-stop shop.
It's your boy, King Jaquel Martin, actor, director, motivational speaker.
And we got some hot topics coming straight from the press. Diddy is in headlines once again. The Homeland Security team has raided his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. They had footage from the Los Angeles location where his sons were actually in handcuffs outside of the property. This is coming after Cassie's sex trafficking allegations that she had against Diddy, and they ended up settling with that. So it's been a huge mess on social media. Everybody is just in a frenzy, and I honestly can't believe it.
This is something that's like, that shocked the world, right? Because we already knew back in the 90s about Diddy or whatever. And it's crazy because I feel like the kids was dragged into this. I feel sorry for them. You understand? It's just like whatever their dad did is bleeding on them. Now, are they a part of the sex schemes and allegations and things like that? We don't know because they are of age, and he could have groomed them into showing them how to handle certain things in that genre, that atmosphere, or whatever. But the fact that he was found on an island, they did track his plane, right?
They found him.
Yeah, in the Caribbean. Well, no, they said that the jet, his private jet was in the Caribbean island. They don't know if he was actually on it or not. Allegedly, that's where he is in the Caribbean right now.
Well, his plane up, and he got raided. I'm pretty sure somebody tipped him off that he was going to get raided. Now, what he probably didn't know, and this is just me guessing, what he probably didn't know is that his kids will be in handcuffs. So.
But was that necessary, though? I mean, I know it's dealing with Diddy. Was it necessary to put his kids in handcuffs? Unless maybe something happened inside where they needed to put the kids in handcuffs.
Well, I don't know if it was necessary because, like you said, we wasn't there. We don't know what the feds saw when they got there. They could have been in the act of, a sexual threesome or whatever. You don't know, right? So they could have been in the act of something, and they just got arrested. But to be fair, King do look like Diddy. I'm just saying, that's his twin. So it could have been mistaken identity for King. I can honestly say that. So, but as far as them being put in handcuffs, honestly, I really don't think it was necessary, but I think that they were just trying to show a statement. One thing I don't like is how they didn't do the same thing to Trump when they raided his house in Miami. There were people that was there that could have got handcuffed, but they did not. So I just feel like if you're going to do it right and do it fair across the board.
And he's running for president, that's a whole nother story. Trump and his presidency. Yeah.
His presidency. Yeah.
Yes. Tongue twister. But I mean, I guess we're going to see how this unfolds. I know 50 Cent made a post talking about, the whole interaction. It's just really sad. It's a real sad story. It's sad, the allegations against Diddy and what, they said he did allegedly, because everybody really looked up to Diddy at one point, I feel like, and people may still look up to him right now, but it's sad to see that Black successful mogul go down like this. It's just, I hope it's not true, but I think some of it is true, unfortunately. And it is sad. He should never abuse anybody, no woman, the way he made Cassie interact with sex workers and beat her and stuff like that. Like that should never happen to anybody, especially because you're at the height of your career. You can have anything in the world and you want to beat and abuse people. Make it make sense. It doesn't even have to be like that. You can get anybody you want. So why do you have to succumb to that?
Right. And you're right. At some point, people did respect Diddy. And it was at a point where I did want to work with him a couple years ago, and it was just like, dang, I keep hearing all this stuff, but you never really know what's true and what's not true. You understand? Because, you know, we're all in the industry and we hear a lot of stuff, just like we were all at the NAACP Awards, but on social media, they're making it seem like Usher praised Satan. He did not do that. We were all there. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what is true and what's not true unless you were actually there at that moment. So I totally understand what you said in that regard. Another thing I wanted to point out too, Mary J. Blige also said a statement, but she did it on yesterday. So she probably had got tipped off about what was going to happen as well. Because in her statement, she was like, you know, she's been a people pleaser for so long. She's not going to be silent anymore. And she's going to learn how to she's going to reintroduce herself as a person that cut bridges or whatever. I don't know if that had anything to do with Diddy, but she has been very quiet. And for her to be so close to him, I just found it very odd that she never said anything. Karsha isn't saying anything, Young Miami, you know, and it's just like people that's really close to him is not saying anything. And you know, him and Jay-Z was like this, right? So my question is this going to affect everybody that was in his realm, you know, because they might have allegations against him as well. I know back in the day, allegedly, what's his name? I just said his name, Beyonce husband, Jay-Z. Yeah. So I know he had allegations of beating women, sexual things as well. So all of this stuff is about to come out. And I want to say that in closing, Cat Williams made it very clear 2024, people are about to get exposed, and he was not lying.
I'm so glad that you hit that. Things travel fast, and it's funny how kids are now saying, instead of saying pause or no homo, they're saying no Diddy. It's crazy how one day you are on top of the world with Bad Boy, and now you are the new slogan for pause. I don't know if my brother did it or not. I pray he didn't do it. I pray that, you know, for his family's safety. I hate the fact that his kids have to go through that. You don't know what they were a part of or what they were groomed to do. I just hope that before I cast my judgment that we really get to see what the root of the problem is. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we always look at the result and we don't know the root. And if it is true, then if wrong, you do the crime, you got to do the time. Wrong is wrong, and nobody deserves to be treated like that. Man, woman, human being, period. You know, it's sad that sometimes when you come in power, you become so bored that you just want to take advantage of other people. You want to prey on other people. And I pray that that's not the situation. It's interesting that, you know, supposedly the private jet is now in the Caribbeans on the same day that things got raided. It's interesting that, you know, you see his kids locked up. I never want to see a Black person in handcuffs because I've experienced it. I know what it feels like. I know the emotional damage that comes with it. So I just pray that justice is served, whether it's on the victim side, if they were wrongfully assaulted. And at the same time, if he did do something wrong, I pray that he serves his time and he finds his own healing in why he was doing what he was doing.
Well, I ain't saying that I don't believe it. I ain't saying I do.
Yeah. No, did
Yeah, same.
Did
No,
he,
I mean,
did he do it or did he not do it?
right. The truth will come out. Either he did or he didn't. But you know, we just witnesses at this point to the whole fiasco.
I would love to see how it all plays out. I know Cat Williams talked about this will be the year of things coming to the light. And it just kind of reminds me, Bible verse, how the first shall be last and last shall be first. So in order for that to happen, people's truths will be shown.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's shown, we'll see if you got to where you are the right way, or if you took advantage of certain situations and now those roles will be flipped. So,
yeah.
And here's another lesson in that. A lot of times we wish that we had somebody else's life. At one point in time, people wanted to be Will Smith. People wanted to be Jada. Oh, they're their ideal of what love is. And then look at the relationship, you know. People idolized Diddy even when he was throwing parties at the HBCUs or whatever else when he first started blowing up. You know, when Bad Boys Takeover, when he was doing things with Notorious B.I.G., you know, people fantasize to have that lifestyle. Well, my question is, do you still want it?
Right. But to your point, that was before social media.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people now, they dig more deeper into who these people are. And we have more access than we did before we had social media. So it's kind of like, you know, people are knowing the artists on a more personable level than we did back in the day. Because all we saw was a stardom. All we saw was a spring bling, you know, the 106 and Park. You know, that stuff was fun to us. We wanted to be on those shows. But we didn't know what the back end, what happened behind the scenes.
Yeah. Like, truthfully, when I got wrongfully arrested by the police and, you know, I was searching for help, I did an interview on CNN with Jake Tapper. And I did it like at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm in New York. And I was like, yo, I wonder who I could find to help me. Could I find Diddy? Could I find 50? Could I find some celebrity that can help me gain the traction about helping protect our people? And he was one of the people that I looked out, you know, that I looked for. I wound up at Hot 97 and I did an interview with Nessa and 3 other people while I was there at Hot 97. Shout out to Hot 97. Appreciate y'all for giving me that amazing interview. But truthfully, Diddy was one of the people that I honestly was like hoping to connect with because of his reach, because of, you know, his stardom, or because of if he said something, people would listen. And I wanted his help during that time frame. You know what I mean? But you never know why certain things don't work out the way it's supposed to work out, you know?
Yeah, you're right. And another thing's not working out for Candace Owens. She is no longer a part of the Daily Wire. She was having ongoing conversations about the United States role in the Israel and Hamas's war. So little fact, the co-founder of the Daily Wire is actually part Jewish. So I'm pretty sure that sprung on some things. They were in like a Twitter conversation going back and forth. And he's just like, if you want to leave, you know, but you're basically fired. And she's like, now I'm free. So she's been doing a few podcast interviews. She had one with the Breakfast Club where they set her down and she had a few commentary. But what do you guys feel about her being fired?
You know, it's interesting, right? Because I do believe she's an intelligent person. I don't agree with all of her views. But remember, and I'm not saying she's Malcolm X, so please don't take this the wrong way. But remember when Malcolm X was in the nation and there were certain rules that he had to follow? And then when he went to Africa and he saw different things for himself and had his own truth, when he came back, he was free. And they said that he was more dangerous now because he wasn't being governed by, you know, Muslims. I feel like now that Candace isn't under the fingerprint of what the corporation would like her to speak as, I think that she's going to be more of a live wire even more. And maybe that's why she said, now I'm free. You know, sometimes when you're in certain situations, you have to play by certain rules. And in this day of age, in the age of the creator, of having your own podcast, of having your own opportunity to speak freely on your own platform, it might be a more beneficial force. So it could be a blessing in disguise.
Well, I partially agree. Only because, you know, Candace, of course, is very intelligent in her topics and, you know, what she believes in, what she stand on. Mm-hmm. What I don't agree with is how she act as if she wasn't a Black female in the media. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? What I don't agree with is the fact that she downed Black people in certain things instead of, you know, understanding our struggle. I don't know her background. I don't know how she grew up. Maybe a white family raised her. I don't know. But now you want to go on the Breakfast Club and try to get back in with the Black folks. No, boo. Stay where you was at. Stay where you was at.
They keep the same energy.
Yeah, keep the same energy.
Yeah.
And it's so bad that Just Hilarious asked her to finish the phrase. You know what the phrase was?
God is good.
And what you say after that?
Amen, God.
And then all the time, God is good.
After you
God
say
is good, and all the time,
yeah, all the time, God is good. But she said, "Amen."
She said, "Amen" to that, and I'm like, "Oh, so you really ain't Black, okay?" So that same energy that you talk about Black women instead of educating them on how to be classy. You downing them. You're talking about the black men. You're downing them. Now that the white man don't want you no more, you on the Breakfast Club. No, ma'am. Tulu. Going back where you came from.
I mean, it's interesting because when you bring that point up, how many times were you on the Breakfast Club before this?
None.
Exactly my point.
You talking about me?
It was really interesting for Candace to be on the Breakfast Club. I was actually in shock. I was like, what's she doing on the Breakfast Club?
She was on the Breakfast Club because I feel like she knew that her ass was going. Sorry, I knew she probably knew she was going to get fired. She probably knew that her career in that world is about to shift. You know what I'm saying? So she's probably like, okay, let me get my good graces in with the black community. But no, you're not going to get your good graces in the black community. Well, not for me. Y'all can have them.
I do feel like sometimes you have people like Michael Wilborn who get hired in certain positions and get paid just to talk about their own race. So it doesn't seem as if white folks or other races are doing it. So they'll hire someone to play Uncle Ruckus. And when you're describing situations about two different races, you're way harder on the other one. And you give more leniency towards the one that's paying you. You know what I mean? So I feel like Candace fell in that trap where she would get on television, and as long as she was insulting our culture or talking bad about our culture from her educated viewpoint, it's cool for you to get that bag. But when you crossed the lines and you felt like you were all of that and you let your ego get away and you felt like you could do their culture the same way, I guess you found out the hard way that you can't. So it's amazing how you could talk about us. Or who was it? What comedian was that, Jesus? It wasn't Cat Williams. It might have been Chris, help me out. The one
Charles,
that got
right?
The one that got slapped. Anyway, he was like,
Chris Rock.
Right? He was like, ain't it crazy how I can go on television and say nigger with no problem? Y'all don't have no problem with me using this word, right? But if I say faggot, or if it might have been David Chappelle. It was David Chappelle. It was David Chappelle who said it. He said, it's crazy how I can say nigger on television and no one says anything. But if I say faggot, or if I say something disrespectful to the LGBT community, all of a sudden you want to find me. Well, she's like, well, Dave, you're not gay. And his response is, I'm not a nigger either. So what's the difference? So it's interesting how when you're put in certain positions, as long as you're talking about a culture one way that's beneficial or demeaning, it's no problem. But if you cross the lines, it's not the same energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we said at the beginning that she's intelligent in her own right. But if she got paid to be an Uncle Ruckus, you ain't that smart. You ain't that smart. And I really want to see what her mom and her dad, like her mom and dad is black. Because obviously she got nigga hair, right? So you black. You know what I'm saying? So I need to see what her family dynamic is. Because I'm serious. The way this girl talk about the black community, dog.
Woo.
I'm just saying. I'm done. I'm done.
I tried, Lord. I tried to hold it in.
Well, we're gonna move on to the next topic. The next topic is Quiet on Set, the dark side of kids TV, and it's starring a bunch of Nickelodeon child stars who just rose to fame when they got on these Nickelodeon TV shows. You got Drake and Josh, you have the kids from All That, you have the Amanda Bynes Show, you have iCarly. I mean, we all grew up watching these shows, and to know that they were going through abuse on set, sexually abuse from people's dialogue coaches, and you know, their parents really not being aware of what's going on. And then not only that, they're doing perverted scenes on TV. Yes, we didn't understand that they were perverted back then because we were kids, but I literally watched a clip today of the iCarly kids like pounding on a man's laying down on like his stomach close to his like pelvic area, like they're bouncing up and down. And I'm like, why did they think this was okay to air? Like, understand there's like jokes, and Dan Snyder wants to come out and apologize. He did an interview with Boogie or whatever his name is, and basically saying like, I didn't realize, I don't know word from word what he said. He just basically was in the frame of, I was dumb back then, but now I like know better that shouldn't have happened, and I apologize. But I don't think that's enough, because I feel like when you were doing these episodes, no shade, you were about 30 something years old, so you knew right from wrong. Mm-hmm. And then y'all had kids kissing a 30-year-old man on TV, and people are thinking that he's young.
What?
Yes, one of the child stars that were not on the HBO special came on TikTok and showed the scene where she had to play a girl that kissed another guy, and we thought they were all the same age at the time, because sometimes people in Hollywood play younger and they're older, but he was 30 years old at the time, and she said, I felt so weird kissing a grown man, and she was a child.
Where was her mama and her daddy at?
Sold her.
Oh, okay. A lot of people want to speak up because they knew.
They took the bag. They took the money.
Speak up. Their kids got fired. Like this Black parent, this mother. Yeah, I'm not speaking for everybody, but that's what the money.
Hello?
It don't freaking matter. That's your child. So you mean to tell me that you sold your child out for some money that's not gonna last? Because those shows last.
Residuals. Kids don't get residuals.
Exactly.
I didn't even know that until just now.
Yeah, because they have to put it in an escrow account. So when you have a kid, actor, or model, the parents do not have. Well, this is a new rule that had passed after what's the little short dude that was like, what you talking about, Willis? Gary Coleman, because his parents took his money. So what the organization did is they put a escrow account in play for minor kids that's either a model, child actor, and the parents cannot touch the money. They can get a certain percent, only because there's a transportation, they're pretty much like a second agent or whatever, right? So they get their little cut, and that's it. So everything else goes in this escrow account, and the kids can't touch it until they're 18. So I don't even understand. And also about Miley Cyrus situation too. So it's crazy that you're going to sell out your child for some money and fame.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I think we talked about this before when I was on set of one TV show, and I saw how some of the kids' parents, they would drop them off on set like it was a daycare. Like, these are main actors being dropped off on set. First of all, it's trailers on these sets. You don't know what's going to happen in wardrobe. You don't know what's going to happen in makeup.
They know.
And then I remember one time I was on set, and the little girl, she was the main actor. I guess something happened with the mic. So she had on this little puffy dress or whatever. And the guy with continuity, he went and tried to go under her skirt. Now, this is around a whole bunch of adults, right? I'm the only one that said something. I said, hold on, what you doing? He's like, oh, I got to fix her mic. I said, where's the wardrobe lady? She can fix it. Because why are you putting your hand up a little girl dress? That's the problem with being on set with minors. Nobody want to speak up because you're scared that you're not going to have opportunity. Opportunity. Because at the end of the day, whatever happened to them kids, that blood is going to be on your hands. And whenever I'm on set, I can't hear you.
I said they're traumatized now.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, when I'm on set and they're a kid, I'm like the second eye. Because I have a daughter. And I'd be damn if somebody do something to my daughter. Or even try her, look at her any kind of way. Because we off that set, period. But go ahead.
I think you hit it right there on the head. People are in fear of the opportunity and never getting it again. And people are greedy. So people sell their children all the time for a bag. And it don't just happen in acting. We hear stories about gymnasts, swimmers, all different type of things across America where kids are being touched all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's not a surprise. I'm sad that it happens. It's horrible that it happens. You know what I mean? It's sad that there's not someone on set around the kids all the time. It's sad that parents aren't on set and they're leaving their kids. They got a brand new movie that came out called Sounds of Freedom. It came out a little while back, so it's not brand new, but it's new if you ain't seen it. And it talks about how kids are being sold on the black market.
Excuse me.
Children have been sold a long time, and it ain't nothing new. Body parts have been sold a long time, and it ain't nothing new. It's a real business, right? So in the movie, they brought the children to the casting office, right? You know, they get a building, location, tables, fake banners, and everything else. And they would leave their kids there, and they would tell them what time to come pick their children up. But while the parents were there, they had the photographers there, and they were taking the children's pictures and stuff. But they're putting makeup on these kids and making them look grown. They're putting them in sexual poses and all different type of things that's happening because they're a casting office in the film, right? Well, films are a reflection of life. So where did this idea come from? It came from the fact that it actually really happens. So when the parents came back to the casting agency, the agency was gone. The children were gone. And the children were being sold and videotaped on the black market. It is a real thing. Parents, you have to be there. You have to. And if you can't be there yourselves, then you should have someone that you know and trust to be there to make sure that your children are safe.
And it's okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're good. I mean, because here's another example. No disrespect to Michael Jackson. I don't know what Mike did, right? But if Mike had all these allegations, why do you keep sending your kids there? I know that if someone has all it takes is one, maybe two, because you don't want to believe everything that you hear. But if you keep hearing things over and over again, why are you next in line to send your child somewhere? Make it make sense, because it don't. What makes sense is the fact that you were looking to get some sense. You were looking to get some change. You were looking to make some dollars off a situation. And it's sad that people really sell their children like that. Facts. Yeah. And I got two, and I'll be damned. Period. And the crazy thing is, I had my son with a babysitter, and I went to go see the movie. Do you know that me and my girl left the movie theater, going back home? I was like, man, you need to be with me. Sorry. But Dad, I'm playing with my friend. Nope. He was like, oh, I was going to take him go swimming 20 miles away. Oh, what the hell are you at? King, you can't play. I'm sorry. Can't go over there no more. I'm sorry. But Dad, and it's hurtful because the kids don't get it. They don't get the protection. All they know is the fun, right? Because they're not mentally aware of the situation. But as a parent, we have to become better parents. We have to become more mentally aware and protecting our children at all costs.
And the thing about it is, you're right. And what I'm about to say is, Brian Peck is the one that sexually abused Drake Bell. Drake Bell had a manager who was his father. When he got the height of his career, Brian Peck persuaded Drake to fire his father as his manager. So Drake fired his father as being his manager. So his father told Drake's mother, basically, look, I'm fine with the decision. You know, I'm sad about it. But if you guys do anything, do not let Drake be around Brian Peck. And what did the mother do? Let Drake spend the night with Brian Peck. That's when Drake experienced the sexual abuse. And it's just sad. His father was like crying on the HBO special, you know, just wishing, you know, it didn't happen, because he warned the mother, like, there's something up with this guy. And you still had him, you know, go with him after set. It was too late to take him home, so he just spent the night, you know. And at the time, he didn't know. Ain't
no such thing as too late after set. There's no such thing.
If you sign up for this,
because they said that he lived in Orange County at the time, so it was like that drive.
I don't give a damn if I got to go 3, 4, 5 hours to get my kid. I'm coming.
It don't matter. Exactly, because let me tell you something. When I had my daughter in modeling or whatever, people used to always inbox me when she was younger. They inbox me, hey, can you give me information on how to get my daughter into modeling? And I always let them know, this is not just something that you guys see, oh, she's taking pictures of you on the runway. Ooh, whoop de whoop is fun. This is a business. This is work. So although your child is going to be working, you're going to be working too. Are you willing to drive all the way to Miami if they tell you that you have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning? You can't find a flight real quick. and they're going to reimburse you. Are you willing to be on set at 3 o'clock in the morning with your child? Those are things that you have to worry about, because it's not just a job for you. It's a job. I mean, job for your child. It's a job for you too. So if you're going to sign your child up, make sure you sign up for everything. And don't put the responsibility out on nobody else, because they're not going to take care of your kid like you going to take care of your kid.
Yeah.
Period. So there's no excuse about, oh, it's too late. I'm coming to get my child. Matter of fact, I'm going to be on set. Why she home?
They do this
They're dropping the kids off like it's daycare.
Yeah. You know what this is? This is the dangling carrot. Oh, I can get your child on Disney. I can get your child on this. Your life will be different. It'll never be the same. You can be the next this, the next that, the blah, blah, blah. And because you're so busy looking at the carrot, you ain't looking at who looking at your child.
Yeah, because it's like you're on a set that's making you all money, a lot of money at the time, and it's a big network. You probably think your kids are safe. You probably think. I mean, I know.
No, not you, sis. I was just saying, I'm asking the parents, why would you think that?
Yeah, like, even when you go to the bathroom, like, you don't, just because your child double digits, you don't send your child in there by herself.
Nope.
Or by himself. You see what I'm saying? Like, no.
Well, we'll see if they make any more parts to this docuseries. I heard that Disney Stars might come out next. So.
Oh, and one last thing. Yo, we have to pay close attention to what we watch, because it ain't like they hiding it. They put it right there in our faves, but we're so busy being entertained, we miss all the signs and symbols, all the little Easter eggs that they put in the show.
No, literally the first
right there.
Yeah, the first episode of all that, Keenan comes in a fairy outfit, a pink fairy outfit, and something drops. I can't remember exactly what happens. And the kid's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I got to just catch a nut. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Around those lines, don't quote me exactly, but it was definitely around those lines. And I was like, hold on, time out.
Yeah. And Lion King, when they jump into the thing, it spells out sex. And Little Mermaid, they have castles shaped like penises. Like it's right there in front of your face, if you're actually paying attention to the things that you're looking at in the background. But a lot of times we're so focused on the character or what's going on, we don't pay attention to everything in the background. You know what I'm saying?
Start paying attention.
It's right there in your face, and it's almost like a joke.
Right. I didn't know that about the councils. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's almost
I
like.
have to go all the way back.
Okay, you can YouTube this. Look up some symbols, signs and symbols in Disney. You can YouTube it, right? They used to have rides when you go into Disney World where the duck head is supposed to be facing this way, right? So when you sit on it, the duck head is this way. But the duck head is faced this way. So when you sit on it, it almost looks like you're riding the duck's face. You have to pay attention to what you are doing, because if you don't, then you're going to fall for the trap. They're not hiding it. That's what's crazy.
Let me ask y'all this question. What do you think the future of Nickelodeon and Disney and everything in entertainment, like, what do you think the future is going to be? Because everybody is being exposed. This generation of kids that's growing up, they're not taking no nonsense at all. It's like, we're not being silent. We're not sweeping anything under the rug. You're not going to try us like that. What do you think the future is? What holds for the future in the entertainment industry?
I think Nickelodeon is going to go down a little bit. If it hasn't already I think right now they're seeing a lot of views just because people are playing back these, scenes that they didn't catch. So they're probably getting a lot of viewership right now. But I do feel like it will kind of go down eventually. If Disney has a docuseries and something comes out with those stars, I do see that kind of, I don't know, Disney, it just depends on what comes out on Disney. People have the speculations, but unless it's kind of how, like, what happened with Drake Bell, I think Disney is going to probably still stand strong. But the entertainment industry, it just seems like it's about to be a new wave of things about to come in. I mean, I was on Showtime today because I was catching up on The Chi, the TV show. And every time I logged in, this little notification will come up. I'm like, what is this? But, sometimes you just don't read, just be like, exit. But I just read it before I got on with you guys. And it says, we're now switching the Showtime app to Paramount, meaning there's not going to be a Showtime app anymore, meaning they're combining a little bit. So it's like these platforms that's been around when we were growing up, like Showtime, Stars, I think it's going to be a little difference for everybody because so many apps out there, everybody just needs to go to one. I don't know if they're going to, it's just so much going on in the entertainment industry. I just feel like it's going to be a new leaf. It's going to be new competitors coming in and taking spots.
I think I'm going to play devil's advocate. Nothing's going to change because you're not going to do what it takes for it to change.
You don't think the documentary What This just did for Nickelodeon, you don't think?
No. I'm not talking about the people. I'm not talking about the people who did the documentary. I'm talking about society, right? Because in order to create change, a price has to be paid. Colin Kaepernick took a knee. He said, stop watching football. How many people stopped watching football? Balenciaga had the little raccoon eyes and everything else. How many people actually stopped buying it?
And the child pornography.
Yeah, exactly. So my point of it is until we're ready to make a change and then pay the price for the change to happen, why would things change? It's good to hear these truthful stories, but if we don't take action and be accountable for what we know, why would anything change?
Yeah, because I mean, with how people are watching these Nickelodeon shows right now, I bet Nickelodeon's like, dang, we ain't seen this much viewers in a minute.
Yeah, but we're in 2024 and we're still talking about kids getting touched. This ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the 2000s, 1990, 1980.
1960.
You feel me? Like, yeah. So I believe that it will be made aware. And I think if you cut off the head here, then it'll grow here. But until we all take a stand as a whole, like you said, this future generation, they're not playing that. You feel me? So I believe the future generation will make the changes because they see it already of what they want. But until we stop being the old dog and actually learn a new trick and stand up for what we actually have rights to stand up for, nothing's going to change.
Absolutely. And I want to say this before we end this segment. To anybody that is trying to get into the entertainment industry, but you're scared because of all these stories that's coming out, that don't have to be your story. Stand 10 down on what you believe, have character and integrity, and every opportunity you don't have to take. You can say okay to say no. Just because you say no don't mean that another opportunity is not going to come. And then on the other hand, whatever is for you is for you, and God is going to make sure that you're taken care of. Don't fall victim of, I want this opportunity so bad, that you put yourself in compromising situations to where you have to be like, okay, well, I need to tell my story because I've been touched or I did this and whatever. I'm not disowning what happened to these other people and my heart goes out to them, but right. I'm just saying, don't put yourself in those compromising situations. You know, be headstrong and have a mentor that's going to lead you the right way in this entertainment industry. You don't have to be scared to be in this entertainment industry.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that. And let me tell y'all this. All it takes is one time for somebody to be able to hold something over your head and use it against you. So if you think, oh, I can just do it one time and get away with it, that one time might be the heaviest stone that you might not never get off your chest again.
Yep.
All it takes is one time for it all to be over. All it takes is one time for that person to use that leverage against you the rest of your career and your whole life. Because the sooner you blow up and your popularity blows up, then I say, oh, so you don't want to act right? Well, I'm going to show this video of you doing this. Then what?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but definitely don't steer away just because you hear these stories, because you can say no and there will be more opportunities. So I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, look at us. We all in the entertainment industry and we love it. I love it. I think it's freaking amazing.
I love it. I'm 19 years, never had an experience. But I think it's how we navigate things, you know, and that's one thing that I think we as people that's been in the industry for a long time, to show others it's the way that you navigate so you won't be in those situations.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, one last thing. And it don't have to just be about sex. It could be your character. Denzel Washington, who everyone praises, and he deserves all the praise, he talked about one of his first films about the nigger that wouldn't die. And he said, no, I'm not playing that. I'm telling you, that's not the character that I choose for my career. But see, a lot of times people are afraid to say no because they don't believe their next opportunity will come.
Yeah.
Hey, we might want you to play a character that's in the LGBT community. Well, you're an actor. You should be able to play everything. That's what I was told. But I felt truthfully that I'll be doing that community. I'll be disrespectful to that community because it was something that I couldn't play truthfully. And I wouldn't want to mock someone else's lifestyle. So I said no. And this is right after I got Ballers. This is right after everything started blowing up and it was going to be a hit show and everything else. And I was just like, I would never want to disrespect someone else's lifestyle. I would never want to disrespect that, because if I did take it and I didn't do it truthfully, I would have been fried at the stake. Because now I'm being disrespectful to how someone actually really chooses to live life.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to say no. Did I get another opportunity? No. And guess what? You got to be okay with that.
Gotta be okay with it.
I created my own. And when
Yeah.
you create your own, you don't have to beg for someone else's.
Yep.
You got to be okay with saying no.
Be okay with saying no. And on that.
Oh, and for clarity, that's nothing disrespectful to anyone's lifestyle, anyone's community. That was actually me paying. That was actually me paying homage and being respectful to that community.
Yes. Yes. And on that note, we're going to take a quick little break and give a shout out to our proud sponsors, 24/7 Live Culture. And we are back. And this segment that we're about to talk about is transforming your pain into purpose.
Ooh.
And I feel like everybody has went through pain, trials and tribulations, heartbreak, sickness, just anything that has caused pain. And to get out of pain, you have to turn into purpose or turn it into happiness or figure out how you're going to get into that pain to see that sunlight. I know for me, for instance, whenever I go through like pain or rejection, I'm like, what can I do to be better about what just happened? Because I can't let it keep me down, because if it keeps me down, I'm going to be depressed all the time. So I try to see, like, if I get rejected with something like in the entertainment industry, how can I make my own opportunity? Just how King was saying in our previous segment, he made his own opportunities. That's what I think for myself, because you might tell me no, but I'm going to tell myself yes. And I'm going to figure it. It's either, it's not, but it's not going to be, it's not. It's always going to be yes. So it might take me a while to get there, but best believe I'm working on it if it's not going to come, with the people who I wanted to come from. Shoot, I audition all the time and I'm like, well, dang, I keep getting no's, but that's when I have to create my own stuff. And it's coming, it's in the slammer, but I have to do it the right way, figure out the funding and stuff like that, which I've been trying to figure everything out. But I know if I can't get on the show, I'm putting myself on the show. So that's just how I feel about the rejection part. But definitely turn your pain into purpose, because that's what builds character in life. You got to go through stuff to tell your story, and your story can be a testimony to others. You never know what you went through, what somebody else is going through, and you can tell your story to help them.
So you're absolutely right. And to piggyback on what you just said, if you get a whole bunch of no's or whatever, guess what? Create your own. At the end of the day, you use those no's as stepping stones to get to where you want to be in life, right? And it also builds character, like Gentel said. For me, I was, and a lot of people don't know this, when I was younger, I stuttered so bad. Like,
you could never tell.
It was so horrible. Like, like it was bad. And my dad, he still stutters horribly. And my mom put me in speech class, so it corrected it. And I used to always, as a kid, really felt like I didn't have a voice, but I always would talk to my granddaddy, this, that, and the third. And then from there, I want to say like maybe second grade, I will go into school and I just started talking to everybody. And I actually use that shame of not being able to speak to be a speaker, right?
Hey.
I also used what I went through in my previous marriage as a domestic violence survivor as a speaker. You know, I also am a mentor to women that wants to be in the entertainment industry or wants to be a media host. Gentel, both of us, we were afforded the opportunity to host, to facilitate a 5-week course at the Los Angeles Southwest College, where we taught some of the students how to be media hosts. So using those things that was, you know, against me for something that was more impactful. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. And a lot of people don't even know I stutter, you know, and it's crazy because I can tell when I get super excited, and y'all don't know this, but when I get super excited, I kind of like either kind of stumble over my words, or I'd be like, or kind of hesitate a little bit. And that's me taking control of something that I had ever since I was a child.
I would have never known that. That's so dope.
Thanks.
Kudos to you. With stuttering like a speaking coach, that's pretty amazing.
Yep. I'm talking to everybody now. Talking to your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, politicians.
Okay, so since we're being a little vulnerable, I'm gonna tell y'all a story that I ain't never said before. Talking about family, right? So my mom married this guy in prison, and I was a ring bearer in prison as a kid. And I remember going up to the prison and doing the trailer visits, surrounded by 50-foot walls with barbed wire in it. And me and Andre used to get into all these arguments because my mom was trying to force him to be my father. And one day he called me, he was like, "You're grounded." I was like, "Nigga, you grounded. You can't go nowhere. Who are you talking to?" Right? My mom was so mad that I said that, right? And me and Andre was just butting heads. But eventually I started to come to an understanding of Andre, right? So as you all know, I got assaulted by the police.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Mom, how did you pay for this? Where did you get the money from?" So my mom told me to sit down. A few months ago, you know, before my court date or whatever else, Andre had passed away. They found him hanging from a basketball rim in Virginia. I believe someone took his life because I just don't think that's something that we're going to do, or we're going to take our life in that fashion. So when me and my mother was having this conversation, she told me to sit down, and I said I didn't want to, but I listened. And I said, "Where you get that money from?" She said that money came from Andre, from his passing away. So the same person who didn't have freedom is the same person who gave me my freedom and helped me pay for it. And I'll never get a chance to say thank you. So what that did was it motivated me to become a better version of me and help me understand you have to be careful who you talk to and how you talk to a person, because you never know who's going to be the person to bless you. And that's why I want to become a better motivational speaker, to be able to be a blessing to other people's lives, right? And then my second one is my dad. I never knew my dad, right? My real dad, biologically or whatever else. I might have met him maybe 3 times my whole life, and then he passed away. And then when I did talk to him, I'm like, "Yo, tell me who you are." But he never told me who he was. And it hurt me. I got into relationships because of all the things I heard about him. I didn't want to be like him. And my relationships were broken because I was trying so desperately not to be like him. I was never being myself, right? So when it came to my dad's passing away, I did a speech. And what I realized for myself was maybe it wasn't my purpose to get to know my dad. Maybe my dad's purpose was only just to give me life and to be able to be grateful for the opportunity to even be here. So all that pain that I carried of not knowing him, I was able to be free from it, from taking a different perspective. And now I'm able to talk how I'm talking right now. Lisa Nichols says you should let your pain become your gasoline to your automobile of success. Pain can take you further than love can sometimes, because when you're running on hate and you're so mad, you're like, "Yo, I swear to God, I will never let this happen to me again." Bro, you can go so much further than when you're comfortable, because you never ever want to let it happen again. So going through your pain isn't a bad thing, because you've never seen a rainbow without rain. You've never had a testimony without a test. The question is, what will you do? Because we all think a rainbow's beautiful, right? Then why don't we celebrate the rain that creates it?
Mm.
We celebrate the things that we go through because it helps us get to the other side and become a better version of ourselves.
Preach.
Yeah.
He be free.
Yes.
It's all true stories, though, man. I've just been through some things, and I just thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
Yeah, no, I mean, thank you for sharing that with us, because you didn't have to. And I know you just saying that not only will, continue to inspire us, but inspire the viewers as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the next topic, I don't know if this is true or not. This is just a topic we done heard on the net. And I don't know what this girl was popping in her car, but she said she took something and she realized it was laced with fentanyl, and she ended up going into a coma. And while she was in a coma, her man went through her phone, saw a little D pic, a little picture of a little thing up in her phone, and he was pissed. So when she woke up out the coma, he's like, "We got some things to talk about. What's this picture doing in your phone?" And he canceled her health insurance while she was in the hospital.
That part. And then what she forgot to say is she had to get her arm got out the socket. I don't know how that happened. Like somebody, what happened? She said her arm was pulled out the socket. So she had to get.
Trying to kill her.
So when she went to go get surgery, that's when she found out that the health insurance was canceled. My thing, first and foremost, it was a lot to unpack for that story.
It was a lot to unpack.
A lot.
Okay, first of all, you accidentally took fentanyl. You're in a coma for what? She said 3 days?
Yeah.
About 3 days.
And she was fighting to get out of her coma because she knows she had a dick pic in her phone. Consciously, I can't even say the word, but y'all know what I'm saying. She remembered while she was in this coma that she had a deep in her phone. Now you in a coma, but you thinking about this, right?
Because she knew she did wrong. Because you was your husband.
My thing is, why would you put that in there if you got a man anyway?
She couldn't delete it fast enough. That fentanyl got to her first.
So why do you have? Why are you talking to other people when you're in a relationship? I don't know. I think I'm just.
No, you're right. Why are you doing that? Just break up with me. It's time for a divorce. Like, if you're going as far as sending a dick pic or even having some type of attraction to another person, we don't need to go be together.
Right. And that's what she get. He done cancel her insurance. You can't even get your arm back.
Lord, wake me up, Jesus. Let me get out this coma so I can delete that dick pic.
You can't even get your arm put back in like it's supposed to.
He knocked out our socket while he was hitting it.
She walking around like this.
Damn. And my thing, what was you popping? That was late.
Right.
She like it rough.
This was a lot going on.
And the podcast person was like, all this was your fault. She's like, yeah, I take full responsibility. Like, girl,
bruh.
I don't think she had all the screws up there. And I think the man probably really wanted to get away from her, but he didn't know how to. And this was his exit route.
Okay, I got the question because I got to stir up the tea. Was he wrong for canceling the insurance?
No.
Gentel. What would you have done?
At least let her, get her, and cancel. I don't know. I just feel like, dang, she was in a coma and she had her arm dislocated. You just canceled it.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
wait, Gentel. You got your man, y'all together or whatever else, and he get a coochie pic or whatever else, some titties and coochie or whatever else, and he in a coma, and you don't know nothing about it, and you find it. What do you do?
I'm gonna cancel the insurance.
That's my dog. Mine.
Yeah, because now you ain't out here. No.
Yeah, whoever sending that pic, she can go ahead and pay for it.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna call her to let her know you in a coma and your arm is out of place. So she gonna have to come out to this hospital. You gotta come up to this hospital and make sure you straight.
Right.
So I'm a passable time. Here you go, boo. Your responsibility. And if we stand together, your stuff gonna be out by the time you get out that coma, and your arm gets it.
Well, okay. Well, what about, she was smoking. She was just trying to smoke. And y'all got to be careful because they say they are lacing weed with fentanyl. So y'all really.
I don't smoke weed, so I'm good.
Yeah, I saw that too. And I definitely think, people need to be careful for sure. But I also saw reviews that it's mostly street marijuana. Correct me if I'm wrong. Street marijuana instead of like dispensary marijuana. Or does it matter? I don't know.
I don't know if it matters or not, but all I know is I ain't never seen the government do something that was just trying to protect us and keep us safe. So I wouldn't be surprised if they would possibly do it one day too. But people lace shit all the time. Look what happened to DMX. He was smoking and then they laced his stuff with cocaine, messed him up for life. You know what I mean? So you got to be really careful. I ain't a weed head, so I don't know nothing about that like that. For me, but
just make sure you guys are careful out there.
Yeah. How y'all think her shoulder came out of place?
She probably crashed. I mean, I would have thought, maybe her messing with old dude, but probably from the crash.
Yeah.
Hey, he had to be laying it down for her to be thinking about that in the coma. He had to be tearing her out the frame.
But can you really? I think she lied, dog.
She is. They said that you can't even cancel insurance like that.
First of all, let's call a spade a spade. Can you really think about what's going on while you're in a coma?
Yeah. You might.
Because you can hear voices while you're in a coma, but you can't speak.
You hear voices, but you're thinking about that.
He might have realigned her back and gave her scoliosis. She remember.
Or are you thinking about
in her life at that time?
Huh?
That's probably the most exciting thing that was happening in her life at that time.
I just wonder what the prayer was. Lord, can you please wake me up so I can delete this dick picture off my phone before he catch me?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would think a person that's in a coma would probably be like, God, if you get me out of this, I will never do fentanyl again. I promise you, I will not mess with that guy again. But you thinking about a pic in your phone, and God granted you the opportunity to get it.
Maybe he did so we could hear this story.
I don't know. I think she's lying.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
She might really be lying though. But we got some good news. Santia Deck is the first woman to have and own her own shoe company.
Hey.
For the Black Girl Magic, Black Excellence. And Sarina was actually telling us that she knew about it.
Yeah, so it was a couple years ago. I actually was covering the media for Women Inside Professional Sports in New York. And my daughter was actually one of the models for Tronus. Oh. And she had a shoe line, and the shoes are so dope. So when you sent over our topics for today, and the headline was first Black woman athlete has the first sneaker line or something like that. I was like, I didn't even look at the name of the company. And I was like, hold on. My mind instantly went to the lady that owns Tronus. Because I'm like, this is not true. So then as I kept reading, I was like, oh, okay. We're getting her, recognition. So I was super excited for that. Because I remember, I don't know how long she had her shoe line before my daughter modeled for her. But I know that when we did meet her at that time, she was really pushing her brand. She already had some professional athletes that wore her brand in certain commercials and things like that. So she's really been out here grinding. And to see that she has the recognition that she needs, I'm super excited for her.
Yeah. And disclaimer, if I pronounce your name wrong, I do apologize.
I'm just happy for us winning. It's beautiful to see us winning. It's beautiful to see us take on things that people thought that would never be taken on. Because the last time a shoe company came out that actually challenged major shoe companies, I would say And1. I don't know if y'all remember And1, the basketball players, and then they came out with this fire shoe brand, and they were challenging, Nike, Reebok, Adidas. They were challenging the major labels, and the corporations always try to crush new entrepreneurs and upcoming businesses that create a threat to them. So I hope she becomes so phenomenal and she overcomes anything that they try to throw her way. Because first of all, she's Black. Second of all, she's a woman in a male-dominated industry going crazy. So I support that. I'm happy for that. I hope she keeps winning. I hope she inspires other young women to have their own businesses, to do things that other people aren't doing, to not just settle for what someone else says your status quo should be. So I'm just excited for her. And I was so happy to hear your story. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, man. Because I was like, there is no way it's another Black athlete that's a woman that has the first athletic shoe. Because I remember her and I'm like, and I kept reading. I was like, okay, we good. You know, because sometimes people try to take credit of something that they haven't read. So that's what I thought. But I'm excited for her. And I'm glad that she's getting the recognition, like I said before. And if you go on her website, you remember is it eBay or East Bay magazine back in the day?
East Bay.
You remember we used to go
East Bay shoes. Yeah.
That we wanted?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you go on her website and circle the shoes that you want, because her shoes are so like.
And she's making it for male and female, right? Both, right? Male and female.
Yeah. So that's why I said she has some professional athletes that's wearing her brand as well.
That's dope. That's fine. I will definitely support that. And I'm going to back it up by when I do get the shoe. You know what I mean? Put your money where your mouth is.
Yes. So make sure you guys go support her, and congratulations on everything you're doing. This has been another dope episode of Culture Minute. I'm Gentel Sharrie.
I am Sarina Renee, the one-stop shop.
And I'm your boy, King Jaquel Martin, actor, director, motivational speaker. We lit.
Hey.
Did he do it or didn't he? Take that.
Hey, they did just, if you guys want to add this in, they did just see Diddy outside the Miami airport walking around. They have him footage of walking around after the feds raided him. So he, nothing, he's not arrested or in handcuffs, but he has been seen.
So I wonder why his kids was arrested and he's walking around.
That's
they were arrested. I think they were just handcuffed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I wonder why they were handcuffed and he's walking around free.
Yeah, it's a little interesting for sure.
Right.
I think it's a statement. But my thing is, so they gonna go get him now?
Right, because now it's like they know your location. It's
maybe he sent the jet to the Caribbeans that threw him off.
Well, maybe he's seen that they arrested his kids and they know. Okay, I think it's a mind game thing that's going on right now, right? So obviously, Diddy love his kids, right? He posts about them all the time, their accolades and all this stuff like that. So the feds could have used that as leverage to say, arrest him or put them in handcuffs. He's going to come out like a little roach and make sure that they straight. You understand? So I think that's probably what happened. He coming out, and he's like, I'm here. Leave my kids alone. Come get me. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I hope it's in all entertainment purposes, because, sometimes when big opportunities come up or situations or whatever else, people do some crazy things. I'm just praying for all parties. If you're a victim, I'm sorry for anything that you've been through. I pray for your healing. And I hope, come on, Diddy, I hope he didn't do it, bro. Did he do it or didn't he do it?
Yeah, I second that, King. But now, y'all, it's really been another episode of Culture Minute. We'll be back soon.
Take that.